Welcome back to A Moment in History. I'm Seth Udinsky. In this moment in history, let's travel back to the ancient world and explore a dynamic military upset where a fierce band of 300 warriors defeated a far more numerous and more powerful foe. Now, if you're thinking about the Greek battle against the Persians that has become the stuff of movies, good guess, but no. This original 300-strong band of warriors was handpicked by Almighty God himself to show his greatness and power by leading his people, the Israelites, to victory over the massive Midianites behind the leadership of an unlikely captain. The man was JerubBaal of Israel, known to us as the Judge Gideon. In this episode, let's explore the dramatic victory of Israel over the Midianites during the age of the Judges. Now, the theme of this true historical battle is pretty simple. God made his own name great through his often messy, rebellious, and unfaithful people. The battle took place during the Israelite Age of the Judges, somewhere between the 14th and 11th centuries BC, where, like the pre-Noahic age, everyone did what was right in their own eyes. The story is laid out in great detail in the Old Testament book of Judges, chapter 7. So along comes Gideon, hardly a mighty warrior and probably the most unlikely candidate to lead the people of Israel to victory. He was weak in will and lacking in trust in God, as proven by his fleece test where he asked God to prove himself repeatedly. God, as he always does, proved himself to this timid man, and he did it graciously, by the way. Gideon would become the leader of Israel's army in its battle against the Midianites. The backdrop for God's next display of power was this. The Israelite army numbered roughly 32,000 men, no small number except when compared to the Midianites, which historians have numbered at over 150,000. Then, to rid the Israelites of any shred of self-confidence, God dwindled the numbers down, first to 20,000 and then to 300 through a series of tests, including judging how the soldiers drank water. 300 against 150,000 would give the Israelites absolutely no credit if they somehow won. It would be all of God, and indeed it was. In the dead of night, God commanded Gideon and his 300 men to encircle the Midianite camp. Their weapons were not swords and shields, but pots, torches, and trumpets. God commanded the men to break the pots and blow their horns while chanting, "For the Lord and for Gideon." An unorthodox strategy to be sure, but believe it or not, it worked. When the Israelites made their commotion, God threw the Midianites into chaos and frenzy, where many of them turned on each other and began slaughtering one another. The Israelites won the battle over the Midianites, but folks, listen, we need to understand that the people of Israel literally had nothing to do with this victory. This victory, where 300 men with pots and torches defeated 150,000 fierce warriors, was a miracle. God orchestrated the events in picking a flawed leader and then dwindling said flawed leader's army down to bring glory to his own name, as he so often does. Thanks so much for joining me once again for A Moment in History.